Comparing 6 Catholic Bible translations using Psalm 51. Why dost thou glory in malice, thou who art very powerful in infamy? All the time thou dost meditate ruin. Thy tongue is like a sharp razor, thou worker of deceit. Thou lovest evil more than good, falsehood more than to speak righteousness. Thou lovest all pernicious speeches, O deceitful tongue. Therefore will God destroy thee. He will remove thee forever. He will draw thee out from thy tent, and he will uproot thee from the land of the living. The just shall see and fear, and shall laugh at him. Behold, the man who made not God his fortification, but trusted in the abundance of his riches, and gathered strength by his crimes. But I, like a blooming olive tree in the house of God, put my trust in the mercy of God forever. I will praise thee forever, because thou hast done it. I will declare thy name, for it is good in the sight of all thy saints. Psalm 51 from the Knox translation. Wilt thou still take pride, infamous tyrant, in thy power to harm? Evermore thou settest thy heart on mischief. Thy words are razor-edged, and thou a traitor. Cruelty, never kindness, is thy study. Treason, never honest speech. Well thy false lips love the word that brings men to ruin. And will not God destroy thee utterly, root thee up, drive thee from thy home, till thy stock is known among living men no more? Honest folk will watch and wonder, and taunt him then. So much for the man who would have none of God's help, but relied on his store of riches, and found his strength in knavery. And I, rooted like a fruitful olive tree in the house of my God, I will trust forever in his divine mercy. I will give thee eternal thanks for all thou hast done, and boast, as men should ever boast, of thy name, the faithful for my company. Psalm 51, the Jerusalem Bible. This calls it Psalm 52, the 1966 edition. Why make a boast of your wickedness, you champion in villainy, all day plotting destruction? Your tongue is razor sharp. You artist in perfidy, you prefer evil to good, lying to honest speech. You love the destructive word, perfidious tongue. That is why God will crush you, snatch you away for good, tear you out of your tent, uproot you from the land of the living. Dread will seize the virtuous at the sight. They will laugh at his fate. So much for the man who refused to make God his fortress, but relied on his own great wealth, and drew his strength from crime. Growing in the house of God, put my trust in God's love, forever and ever. I mean to thank you constantly for doing what you did, and put my hope in your name. That is so full of kindness, in the presence of those who love you. The Revised Standard Version, 2nd edition, Catholic edition, Psalm 51, which this calls Psalm 52. Why do you boast, O mighty man, of mischief done against the godly? All the day you are plotting destruction. Your tongue is like a sharp razor, you worker of treachery. You love evil more than good, and lying more than speaking the truth. You love all words that devour, O deceitful tongue. But God will break you down forever. He will snatch and tear you from your tent. He will uproot you from the land of the living. The righteous shall see and fear, and laugh at him, saying, See the man who would not make God his refuge, but trusted in the abundance of his riches, and sought refuge in his wealth. But I am like a green olive tree in the house of God. I trust in the mercy of God forever and ever. I will thank you forever, because you have done it. I will proclaim your name, for it is good in the presence of the godly. Psalm 51 from the New Jerusalem Bible, Standard Edition. Again, this calls it Psalm 52. Why take pride in being wicked, you champion in villainy, all day long plotting crime? Your tongue is razor sharp, you artist in perfidy. You prefer evil to good, lying to uprightness. You revel in destructive talk, treacherous tongue. That is why God will crush you, destroy you once and for all, snatch you from your tent, uproot you from the land of the living. The upright will be awestruck as they see it. They will mock him. So much for someone who would not place his reliance in God, but relied on his own great wealth, and made himself strong by crime. But I, like a flourishing olive tree in the house of God, put my trust in God's faithful love forever and ever. I shall praise you forever for what you have done, and shall trust in your name, so full of goodness, in the presence of your faithful. And finally, the New American Bible, Revised Edition. This one by HarperCollins. Psalm 51. This edition calls it Psalm 52. Why do you glory in what is evil, you who are mighty by the mercy of God? All day long you are thinking of intrigues. Your tongue is like a sharpened razor, you worker of deceit. You love evil more than good, lying rather than saying what is right. You love all the words that create confusion, you deceitful tongue. God, too, will strike you down forever. He will lay hold of you and pluck you from your tent, uproot you from the land of the living. The righteous will see and they will fear, but they will laugh at him. Behold the man, he did not take God as his refuge, but he trusted in the abundance of his wealth, and grew powerful through his wickedness. But I, like an olive tree, flourish in the house of God. I trust in God's mercy forever and ever. I will thank you forever for what you have done. I will put my hope in your name, for it is good, in the presence of those devoted to you. That's the end of comparing Psalm 51 or 52